Welcome to episode 109 of the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business. I'm Brian Fisher. In the previous episode, 108, our guest was Abby F. Large, discussing having your financial house in order. Today's episode discusses cultivating authenticity with Mike Horne. This podcast series is targeted to business owners and C-suite executives. It reflects my 34 years as a business owner and subsequent years as a business mentor and consultant. It focuses on the various subjects and topics to help you run a successful, profitable business. They're approximately 15 minutes long, so you can listen while commuting. Hopefully, you'll find one or two takeaways to implement per episode. Based out of Palm Desert, California, Mike Horne is executive coach and organization development consultant at Leadership X, Inc. Mike specializes in guiding executives, rising leaders, and their teams to navigate challenges and optimize their people and culture strategies, minimizing adverse outcomes. His coaching focuses on bridging the gap between probable outcomes and possible outcomes. Here are a few examples of success for Mike's coaching engagements. He coached an IT security leader to thrive after being made redundant due to organizational restructuring. He guided an engineering VP and his team through comprehensive reorganization, enhancing career pathways for software, hardware, and mechanical engineers. He collaborated with a founder and CEO to redefine his path and amplify his leadership effectiveness. And he developed a nascent global HR team amidst organizational downsizing. With executive and organization development expertise, Mike excels at helping technical-focused leaders such as scientists, technologists, and engineers hone their knowledge and develop influential leadership skills. Each coaching journey is unique and tailored to their specific needs. Let's welcome Mike Horne. Mike, welcome to the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business.
Brian Fisher, I am delighted to be with you and your audience today. Thank you for inviting me to be on the BCF Org podcast.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you being here today. Mike, I'm always interested in people's stories. What's your background in becoming the executive coach and organization development consultant at Leadership X, Inc.?
I always think about my career in three parts, Brian. I think about myself as a coach, mentor, and a teacher. So I look for, and as I consider my experience, I look for opportunities to express myself in all three of those skill areas for me: coach, mentor, teacher. So I've had a big corporate career. I work for some mega corporations, leading human resources, leading different functions in human resources. I am a teacher today. I chair the Human Resources Department and Leadership Program at Golden Gate University in San Francisco. And I have an active coaching and consulting business, Brian. So that's, what works for me. I mean, is to give expression, part of my origin story, to these skills, I believe, these competency areas I have in coaching, mentoring, and teaching.
Very important stuff, Mike. This episode's topic is cultivating authenticity. How can leaders cultivate authenticity in both their professional and their personal lives?
Well, I wrote a book called Integrity by Design: Working and Living Authentically. So I've spent a lot of time with this question about authenticity, and I've thought a lot and contributed a lot in the area of authentic leadership. And, I think authenticity is a sense of congruency. I mean, that's how I describe it. It's when your words and actions, and even better, when your thoughts, words, and actions align, that creates a sense of congruency, which enables you to be authentic, that you're comfortable in your own skin, and then to understand who you are and the power of your agency. I think these are really important things for those who are leading others in organizations, is to be aware of the agency that you have and your ability to express that in an authentic way.
Well, building on that, how can leaders ensure respect, dignity, and kindness are integral to their organizational culture?
Well, these are the three topics that are so important in my new book, The People Dividend. And it is about creating dignity, kindness, and respect in organizations. I think this is all about a return to human centered values in organizations. We've gone from the machine age, the era of efficiency, where the emphasis on people was just that, how do we be more efficient? Then we went into a service era and we thought about, well, how do people deliver better service? And now in the era of AI and different work weeks for people, different organizational forms in the United States, the advance of the 4-day work week, I think we have to consider that what will engage people today, what will boost engagement, are these ideas in human-centered values, humanistic values, which is all part of who I am in terms of my background and orientation.
We're speaking with Mike Horne, executive coach and organization development consultant at Leadership Acts, Inc. Mike, how do leaders build strong, productive, and innovative communities at work?
Strong, productive, innovative communities at work. The task for leaders: get out of your chair, say hello to people. I think those are the two pieces of advice that I would give to any executive. I used to work a lot in the world of guided survey feedback, running big surveys for Great Place to Work contests. Led that for one company that was on the Great Places to Work list for a long time. And there's one thing about looking at survey data, employee feedback. There's another thing by, not being a desk jockey, by getting out and talking with other people. So I say, first get out of your chair, but also learn to say hello. I think executive life is so busy that most of the times, we're interested in the product, we're interested in the production, we're interested in the task. We often forget that there is a person with unique needs, hopes, and concerns right in front of us. You know that, Brian, from all of your business experience. So I encourage the oldest use of, the oldest technology we have to create inclusion. Just open up by saying hello.
There's so much to that. I couldn't agree more with you. Well, you mentioned your two books previously, Integrity by Design and The People Dividend. What inspired you to write your books?
I think it's fulfills a creative outlet. That's one thing, and suits my personality. I'm a production writer. I'm a kind of person who can sit in my chair and bang out X number of words. A lot of it goes back to my dissertation advisor, Charlie Seashore, who said that at the end of the day, with your research, what counts are words on paper. So I've learned to do that. I've learned to crank out words on paper and give back, contribute, add to the fields of executive and organization development in meaningful ways.
Mike, what results or lessons learned have you seen with businesses and individuals that have implemented your recommendations?
I used to run an executive development program for a very big corporation, a couple of executive development programs for a very big corporation. So my key client was the president of this mega organization, because essentially we were taking the high potential leaders, taking them offline for at least a month, 6 weeks at a time. And I was always hyped up on my evaluations, 0 to 5, 5 being high. And, of course, in these bonding experience, these corporate climbs, people generally have a positive experience. What, of course, that president, Bill, was more interested in was what was the qualitative feedback. So that's a lot of what I try to bring to my work, and it really suits what I do in terms of bespoke coaching, is to look for feedback in different ways, acknowledge all the ways that it comes. I'm no stranger to hard data either, because I'm known for creating the first workforce research and analytics team in the pharmaceutical industry a long time ago, where I hired a lot of IO psychologists to really build some predictive analytics into people and what would happen with people movements if certain actions were taken.
We're speaking with Mike Horne, executive coach and organization development consultant at Leadership Acts, Inc. Mike, is there anything I've not asked that you'd like to add?
Well, Brian Fisher, you are such a wonderful interviewer. And what I would add is that all of the work that we do in this area, dignity, kindness, respect, bringing human-centered values, isn't, solely for a noble aim or a good aim, but it's built around the concept of happy employees create happy customers who give you high net promoter scores or more money. And, so that's what I think about it. I think it's also the foundation for innovation because, most organizations don't survive without innovation. And these are the keys to it.
Having happy employees is core to a successful organization.
Yeah, or at least aligned around your mission and purpose.
Absolutely. Mike, how can people get in contact with you?
Well, the easiest way for folks to get in touch with me is Mike-Horne, HORNE.com. If you go to Mike-Horne.com, you're going to have access to a lot of resources. I have sample chapters of my books available to you. I have free books to you. I do a weekly blog, and you'll find all the episodes of the People Dividend podcast there and ways that you can engage me.
Mike, thank you for joining us today on the BCF ORG podcast, The Business of Business.
You're the best, Brian Fisher. Thank you so much for having me.
My sincere thanks to Mike Horne for joining us today. Managing the performance of your company is one of the most important things you do as a leader. This podcast is on YouTube and over 20 podcast directories. In search, type BCF ORG. Be sure to leave a space between BCF and ORG. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow the podcast. If you'd like to reach out to me for business mentoring or consulting, schedule a speaking engagement, ask questions, make comments, suggest ideas, or potentially be a guest like Mike, please go to bcforg.com. There's a red Contact Us button in the middle of the homepage. All the podcasts are available by clicking on the website podcast page in the reference bar. These podcasts will be released the first and third Tuesday each month. In the next episode, 110, our guest will be Dennis Franchek, discussing CEO burnout to authentic leadership. In business, running a successful, profitable business is the ultimate scorecard. You're never done and can always be better. It tends to be more fun than work, frustrating at times, but can be very rewarding. And don't underestimate the value of a business plan and financial planning. From BCF ORG Corp., I'm Brian Fisher, wishing you the best. Thanks.